optimism and hope for the common denominator of over 80 ethnicity, a country with 3,000 years of glorious history and culture, mother of freedom. Ethiopia.
Welcome to Ethiopia Today. We will be focusing on the following topic on our presentation: 10 surprising facts about Ethiopia, and invite you to stay tuned till the end.
10 surprising facts about Ethiopia. Ethiopia is one of the world's oldest countries, its territorial extent having varied over the millennia of its existence. In ancient times, it remained centered on Aksum, an imperial capital located in the northern part of the modern state, about 100 miles or 160 kilometers from the Red Sea coast. The present territory was consolidated during the 19th and 20th centuries as European powers encroached into Ethiopia's historical domain. Ethiopia became prominent in modern world affairs first in 1896 when it defeated colonial Italy in the Battle of Addis, and again in 1935-36 when it was invaded and occupied by fascist Italy. Liberation during World War II by the Allied powers set the stage for Ethiopia to play a more prominent role in world affairs. Ethiopia was among the first independent nations to sign the Charter of the United Nations, and it gave moral and material support to the decolonization of Africa and to the growth of Pan-African cooperation. Ethiopia, the enthralling land of origins, is in northeastern Africa and is home to diverse landscapes, deserts, volcanoes, highlands, and of course the famous rock-hewn churches. Ethiopia's unique combination of culture, deep-rooted history, and stunning landscape makes it one of the most intriguing places on Earth. From legendary beliefs to confusing times and dates, here are some facts about Ethiopia you probably didn't know about. Ethiopia may not be the first place you think of when booking your next holiday, but it should be. The country has been at peace for more than 15 years, and its economy is one of the fastest growing in the world. Add to this a staggering diversity of landscapes, kaleidoscope of cultures and history that tracks back to when our species first raised itself up onto two legs, and suddenly you've got one very surprising travel destination. And just to push the point further, here are 10 facts about Ethiopia you probably don't know. Number 1. 13 months to the year. Sure, plenty of cultures have their own calendars that they prefer to follow over the Western Gregorian one, but most still abide by the unspoken 12 months to a year rule. Not Ethiopia. Ever looking to buck a trend? Several thousand years ago, the Ethiopians cottoned onto Spinal Tap's belief that one more is always better, and have been counting 13 months to their year ever since. What does this mean? Well, that 2022 is still 2014 there, and that canny tourism boards can legitimately claim that the country really does boast 13 months of sunshine. Number 2. It was the birthplace of coffee. There are many legends about the origins of coffee, but it is thought that its heritage can actually be traced back to a goat herder on the Ethiopian plateau. The legend goes that the herder noticed his goats had an affinity for the berries from a certain tree, and that when they had eaten them they were so energetic they couldn't sleep at night. After experimenting with turning the berries into a drink at his local monastery, he found it kept him alert through the long hours of the evening prayer. The drink was shared with monks at the monastery, and from these humble beginnings the coffee industry exploded. It is now estimated that 500 billion cups of coffee are drunk each year, and we are forever grateful to that goat herder. Number 3. Ethiopia is perceived to be the diplomatic capital of the African continent. Ethiopia hosts the headquarters of African and international organizations such as the African Union, UN Economic Commission for Africa, UNESCO, and UNDP. Who would have thought that the otherwise overcrowded city of Addis Ababa, typical of several other African cities, could be the host city for headquarters of such distinguished and important global role players? Ethiopia was in fact also the birthplace of Pan-Africanism, the worldwide movement that aims to encourage and strengthen bonds of solidarity between all indigenous and diaspora ethnic groups of African descent. It was welcomed by Emperor Haile Selassie I, and is perceived as the movement that eventually led to the birth of the current African Union. Number 4. Over 75 languages are spoken in Ethiopia. It's no secret that many African nations are some of the most linguistically diverse places on Earth. But Ethiopia takes it next level. There are over 80 languages spoken, with English being the language of educational systems in addition to local languages which include Oromo, Amharic, Somali, and Tigrinya, and others. Number 5. Over half of Africa's mountains are in Ethiopia. Along with Ethiopia's incredible cultural and historical significance, the natural beauty is in a league of its own. In addition to a gorgeous landscape of low deserts and volcanic plateaus, Ethiopia is incredibly mountainous. In fact, around 70% of Africa's mountains are in Ethiopia. Number 6. The Rastafarian movement has links to Ethiopia. The history of Rastafari can be traced back to Africa, though the movement was started and developed in Jamaica. The word Rastafarian is derived from Ras, meaning chief in Ethiopia's official language Amharic, and Tafari, the first name of former Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie I. He was also the spiritual leader of Rastafarians. Number 7. Complete independence. Ethiopia is the only African country never to have been brought under colonial control. A fact that locals will never tire of informing you. And fair enough too. The Italians did give colonization a crack in 1935 and succeeded in militarily occupying the country for 5 years. But Ethiopian forces were waging military opposition the entire time, and the whole country was never brought under control, as some of the locals put it. We waited until they had built us railways and nice buildings, and then kicked them out. Number 8. The oldest people in the world. Several archaeological findings in Ethiopia's Afar region go quite some way in suggesting that the country may be where we all started out from. In 1972, Donald Johanson and Tim D. White discovered Lucy, a 3.2-million-year-old hominid skeleton. For years, Lucy was all the rage, embarking on a 9-year worldwide tour and enjoying widespread fame. Then Artie, also from the Afar region but 1 million years her senior, rocked up and blew her out of the water. Number 9. You'll find lots of vegetarian cuisine in Ethiopia. We touched on it in our previous point, but the food in Ethiopia is delicious, and it's also a great place to visit if you're a vegetarian. Many Ethiopians follow an Orthodox Christianity religion which prohibits eating any animal products on Wednesday and Friday, which means you'll almost always find vegetarian dishes on the menu. The base of just about every Ethiopian meal is a delicious pancake-like bread, called injera, which you'll find mounded with tasty stews and curries. Number 10. Ethiopia's national animal is the Abyssinian lion. The Abyssinia lions, or Panthera leo abyssinica, are smaller than their East African cousins, and the males have distinguishable black manes. Experts say less than 1,000 Abyssinian lions can still be found in Ethiopia. The last of their descendants are apparently still kept in the Addis Ababa Zoo, built in 1949 during the reign of Emperor Haile Selassie. The zoo is intended to rear the animals for exhibition as symbols of his rule. This brings the end of our presentation. The source of this blog is nationofchange.org.
Thanks for staying with us. If you enjoyed our presentation, give us a like and share to your social contacts. And also don't forget to subscribe and tap on the notification bell if this is your first time. Please also check on our collection of favorites on the description section below. See you on our next video. Many thanks. May God bless Ethiopia and its people.
Optimism and hope for the common denominator of over 80 ethnicity, a country with 3,000 years of glorious history and culture, mother of freedom. Ethiopia.